Hiya.
Welcome back to the head movement mini course here at Fight Smart. Now in the first video I taught you how to dodge and counter punch off of a straight punch. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch that first. And in this video I'm going to teach you about the ridiculous importance of effective footwork and how that pertains to both the head movement game and just fighting in general.
Now I'm here to teach you the game of head movement, and a major part of that is maintaining your distance and keeping plenty of space between you and your opponent so you have plenty of time to react to the punches that are coming at your head.
You want greater than an arm's length of space to give you as much time as possible to react.
Inside an arm's length starts getting pretty crazy and you're probably going to get hit some percentage of the time.
However, if you keep enough space between you and that guy that he has to actually take a 1 to 2 foot step in order to hit you, not only is that going to increase the amount of time that it takes for him to hit you, but it's also going to give you a lot of different stuff to react to, even subconsciously. So you might notice the moment where he actually pushes his leg into the ground to blast himself forward. You might see his torso moving at you. You might even see his arm start to load something up and kind of betray the punch that he's actually going to throw on his way in.
Your brain can react to these subtle impulses in milliseconds if you train it to, so make the guy take a step.
So how do we do that?
Now the most fundamental way to keep your distance is by building the ability to blast backwards in short bursts, ideally faster than your opponent can move forward with a punching combination.
Now this may or may not be completely obvious, but as a standalone reaction to a punch, a simple blast backwards will make literally everything miss.
So D goes to hit me with a straight punch. I'm good. D goes to hit me with a hook. Again, I'm good. In addition to maintaining my distance, blasting backwards will avoid punches, and that makes it one of the most important movements in all of martial arts.
Now there's always a catch, and the truth is you can't just back up forever. Eventually you're going to either run out of space or there comes a point where you have to knock that guy unconscious. He's not going to knock himself out, am I right? Then again, if you don't knock him out and you can't move backwards, I guess sideways movement might be your only option. At the end of the day, you never can tell where you might need to go. Your only choice is to be prepared to move anywhere. All movement matters.
Now, I'm not one to pick favorites, so let's say the ability to blast 1 foot in every single direction is of paramount importance. So if I want to hit you before you can react, boom, I blast in, I blast myself back out. If I want to throw more strikes than just 2, I blast in, I blast to the side, I hit you again. So I've taken an angle, I've remained safe, and now I can blast myself back out to safety. The ability to blast in every direction is essential if you want to become an awesome fighter. So we're going to do a drill that I refer to as the blast off. And to do this, we got to start in a good stance. So I want 2 feet between your feet this way. I want 2 feet between your feet this way. I want your knees bent, your back heel can come off the ground, your feet point straight ahead. Now from this position, I've given myself the ability to explode in any direction simply by blasting into one of my feet, thus the name. Now it's really important to have your knees bent because obviously by straightening one of your legs a little bit, that's what triggers your blast.
If you ever stand up too straight, you lose a lot of your movement potential.
So for 2 minutes straight, you're going to blast in every single direction. So for 2 minutes, I might move to the right, boom, boom. Again, I explode into my left leg. Then after 2 minutes, I'll face forward, bam. Now I'm obviously driving my rear leg back into the ground, boom, boom. Small movements, 12 to 18 inches repeatedly, and your legs are going to start burning after 45 seconds. But then, of course, you still have 1 minute and 15 seconds to go.
Now, every single direction that you can blast yourself into requires a different little subset of muscles to trigger the movement. You're obviously going to strengthen all of them. And if you can persevere for 8 minutes and despite the burning pain, keep blasting and telling every single one of those muscle fibers involved to contract, you're going to build a type of movement that most people never have.
Suddenly, punches just start missing. If you're impossibly hard to catch, you're impossibly hard to punch.
Now here's the catch. Anytime you blast yourself in any direction, you have to land in a position where you have your weight evenly distributed between both of your feet. You need even weight distribution. So if I go to jab you by moving forward and I throw all of my weight into my front leg, well, I've lost the ability to push into this leg. By straightening my rear leg, it doesn't move me forward at all. All of my weight is here. Whereas if I move forward and I throw a jab, boom, and I maintain even weight distribution, boom, I can blast into that rear leg and I can move forward again. So if I need 3 jabs to chase you down, I can move forward effectively. If I need 3 movements backwards to run away with 3 slips, I can do that as long as I never over transfer my weight and I keep it balanced after every blast.
Now, there are going to be times when you're chasing somebody's head and you over-transfer your weight forward. It's not the end of the world, it's just the end of your movement until you bring your base back underneath you, and then you can move and do something else. Overblasting, in the vast majority of cases, is a mistake. Unless you're Floyd Mayweather, in which case you'll probably make your way out of it. People who haven't seen 10,000 punches coming at their heads will frequently overblast backwards, lose the ability to retreat, and since they feel like they have nowhere else to go, they duck and cover their heads, hide behind their arms, and get head sniped. The #1 leading cause of head sniping. So look, it's a problem, but fortunately it's a problem we can solve in like 2 minutes with a simple drill called floor pinches, or the floor pinch, if you only do one of them, which would not be as effective.
Floor pinches, because you should do more than just one.
Now to execute a floor pinch, I'm gonna have you blast in any direction and literally pinch the ground between your feet on your second step, or your replacement step as I commonly call it, the one that brings you back to your stance. So if I'm moving to the right, I pinch for 2 seconds, my knees might squeeze in, I certainly feel the strain on the insides of my legs as I'm blasting forward. Obviously the muscle changes, now it's whatever muscle it is that brings this rear leg up into my stance.
Now both legs, front and back, are going to pinch as hard as possible for that 2 count, and this particular muscle actuation has some very interesting effects.
Now the first thing this is going to do is it's going to strengthen a very commonly neglected subset of muscles in your legs, and those are simply the ones that trigger the replacement step. So if I want to slip a punch on you, boom, I slip in, I brought my base with me, bam, I can move right to a well-balanced hook instead of obviously just reaching and constantly widening my stance out. So it'll make you faster moving around in your stance.
Speed is good.
You're goddamn right.
Don't do drugs.
Now, more importantly, this is going to help you change directions more easily by exerting a force in the opposite direction from where you're moving. So for example, if I'm throwing a 1-2, instead of just pitching my weight forward, leaving it on my front leg, if I bring this back leg with me and I use it to pull on the ground, it will literally pull me back into a stance, or just pull me to the point that I'm not pitching over my weight. It'll stop my overblast, okay? So the right foot and the strength that you can build in your replacement leg will be literally enough to stop your combinations, redirect your body, and obviously keep your weight evenly distributed.
So by doing this simple drill and doing these floor pinches, you'll be creating a break for your explosive movements.
Because quick changes in direction are always handy.
And on top of everything else, these same muscles will give you tremendous power in your punches. So if you want to throw a big left hook, boom, you've now built the muscles that can pull you further into that strike, thus adding more power. And of course, at the exact same time, we're going to be blasting off of the other leg, bam, another movement that we've strengthened, which again connects your power to the floor. 2 simple drills. If you blast for 2 minutes in every direction and then you do 1 minute of floor pinches in every direction, it's 12 minutes. 12 minutes to build arguably the most important movements in all of martial arts and fully connect your power to the floor from the ground up.
So, you should do it.
Now look, I know I haven't shown you anything groundbreaking in this video yet, but you have to keep in mind it's all about how you spend your time and your energy. Most people don't have a boxing coach and they can't go to an MMA gym for an hour a day. You're lucky if you have one of these pieces of shit sitting in your basement so you can at least stand in place and beat the crap out of something, even though that's not really how fights go at all. Most people can't even find an hour a week to train, and at that point you damn well better not be wasting your time on nonsense that doesn't actually work. That's why it's my job to take the most relevant stuff, the stuff that really matters, and shove it down your throat from the very beginning. Here's a technique, here's why it matters, and then here's how you build it. So when you have 12 minutes to spare, you can spend that time actually developing something that makes a difference in a real street fight. And if you take that general strategy and apply it to the rest of the techniques in my head movement training system, you will become unpunchable. You'll actually accomplish what you set out to accomplish when you join this mini course, and at the very least, you will make people miss their punches and make them pay for it dearly. So hey, if you like the stuff that you've learned so far and you want to learn the rest of the head movement techniques that I have to teach you, while also getting drills to reinforce those techniques while simultaneously getting you in ridiculous shape, you might also like my full head movement training program.
Just look at these graphics. I mean, goddamn.
Look, this is a fantastic step-by-step training course. It'll completely change the way that you look at self-defense and fighting in general, and you will absolutely never get punched again. So there's a button that just popped up under this video. By all means, click that button. I'll take you to another video where I'll tell you all about the course and what's in it and all the stuff that you're going to learn, how much it costs and that kind of thing. So by all means, click that button and I'll see you on the other side. I think that's it. I didn't have anything else planned.
Yeah.